Bitch is a Bad Word podcast is for informational purposes only and reflects the opinions of the host and guests. It contains explicit content and discusses sensitive topics such as domestic abuse, sexual assault, and violence, which may be distressing to some listeners. Please take care of your emotional well-being while listening. While we strive for accuracy, we make no warranties about the completeness or reliability of the information, and any reliance on it is at your own risk. We do not endorse third-party views and are not liable for any defamatory claims. Listeners should conduct their own research and consult professionals before making decisions. If you or someone you know is in danger, please call 911 or contact the National Domestic Abuse Hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-799-7233 or text START, S-T-A-R-T, to 88788. We've got your back, besties. Caliber Studios has not independently verified the information you're about to hear. Welcome back to another episode of Bitch Sesh by Bitch is a Bad Word. We're so incredibly grateful to you for joining us. Vicky Edwards is joining us today on Bitch Sesh, and she is your new BFF. I promise you that. She is such an inspiration. She is here to share her story with us, and we are so incredibly grateful to her. If you love Bitch is a Bad Word, please do like, share, subscribe, and review on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you listen to your shows. We would greatly appreciate it. Send me a DM at Bitches a Bad Word Pod, or find us on TikTok or YouTube at Bitches a Bad Word. We're doing all sorts of lives and shorts and just everything you can imagine. We are trying to cook up to help you on your journey. And we would love for you to join our Patreon. It's free, but there's paid tiers too. Patreon.com/Bitch is a Bad Word. So let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Sarah Wayne Callies, and I played Dr. Sarah Tancredi on Prison Break.
And I'm Paul Edelstein, and I played Agent Paul Kellerman on Prison Break. Please join us on our rewatch podcast, Prison Breaking, with Sarah and Paul.
We're going to have all kinds of guests and never-before-told stories, so follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can subscribe to our watch party on the link there. We can't wait to see you there.
And follow us on Instagram at Prison Break Podcast. See you there.
Vicky, welcome to this episode of Bitch Sesh.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I am so excited to have this conversation with you. I met you through one of our mutual friends, and I was on her show, Megan Judge, and she's like, "You have to meet my friend Vicky," and I'm like, "I'm down. Let's meet." So we haven't met yet. We have big plans to meet in person, but this will have to do. This is the new way of doing things.
By the way, you're stunningly beautiful. I wish there was like a filter. Can you just make me
Oh my
younger?
gosh. Oh, thanks. Well, you are beautiful too. And we were talking about this before we got on. Your hair is amazing. You're like, and then I was like looking at my nails. I'm like, don't look at my nails. I was looking at your nails and I was having nail envy. So
By the way, my color kind of matches your hat. I'm just saying.
it does. Oh, my MILF hat. Y'all, I'm wearing the black. I haven't worn the black MILF hat very much because I felt like the pink was like what popped. But your nails do match the MILF, the Mothers in Litigation Forever. Those nails
Which
are
I
fire.
want that hat. Like, seriously, I want that hat.
Okay, well, you got to join the MILF Mafia.
Okay, consider me joined. Like, what do I need to do? I feel like I deserve it. Just kind of.
Yes, I'm gonna send you the link. You're gonna wear one. Then we're gonna do a live right before your episode
Yes.
drops, and we'll talk about the MILF Mafia because we should just start there. The MILF Mafia is for real a movement that I've started on this show for all the baddie mamas out there. And, someone said something like, well, I don't want to be in litigation forever. I'm like, girl, you better buckle up, buttercup, because this is a ride that no one expected to go for this long. And I say it like joking, like we're going to be mothers in litigation formation or something at some point. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't hopefully it's not forever. But in your experience, and right before we went live on this show, you were like, I had no idea this was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to take this long. So what are your feelings about being a MILF?
Well, my feelings are, at first it was debilitating, daunting. I was like, I'm going to be broke. I don't understand this system. Feeling of it's never going to end. And then I'll never forget, my attorney said to me, so it took me, if I can backtrack, 3.5, almost 4 years to get divorced, right? And which is a hell of a long time in itself. And I mean, we're talking daily emails. We're talking, I think together, we spent over $2 million. And by the way, we are not rich. That was our house. That was, it was 3 conjoint therapists, 1 minors counsel, 3 or 4 different supervisors for the visits. Oh my God, how many attorneys between us? He changed a few times. I feel like 8 attorneys between us. Okay, we're talking, am I allowed to cuss on this show or no?
I encourage cussing on this show.
When I had to push for this trial, like he would have, I think, kept on and on forever. Because it's like another form of abuse, right? And I have 2 children, so that was part of it. So when we finally had our trial, 1 week, by the way, a 1-week trial, imagine that.
How expensive is that emotionally and financially?
Financially horrible. In my situation, so obviously I'm not an attorney, but people would tell me I was a stay-at-home mom. I gave up my career to be a stay-at-home mom. And
best job
they told
ever.
me, hardest and best. And people would tell me, oh my gosh, Vicky, you don't work. He's going to have to pay for your fees. Don't even worry about it. Reality check. Do worry about it, because that's not how it works. If there are assets, I mean, of course, you can mediate and finagle this and that, but the law, they don't have to pay for your fees. My situation was a bit different because there was domestic violence involved where he was found guilty of. So there are laws in place where the perpetrator has to pay for fees related to that. Emotionally, obviously money is terrible, but emotionally worse, I don't, or equally as bad. To sit there and to be on a stand, a witness stand, if no one's ever done that, I was on there for a day and a half.
Oh my God.
A day and a half where, you're having to relive all of these things, where their side, which is their job, but is to try to poke holes in like every little thing. Even something so silly, like he broke my glasses and they're like, was it like this or was it like this? I was like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And listening to, I don't know what's worse, sitting up there yourself or listening to your ex and their just, in my case, lies and manipulation and the fake tears and the victimization. And I think some of my favorite moments, or not favorite, now I can kind of laugh about it, was claiming not to know what domestic violence was, It's like, okay. And by the way, this is someone who went to Stanford and another well-known MBA program.
So you're like, come on. You're like,
and the judge was like, where did you go for your education? Then there was, another favorite moment, Tex. He'd love to tell me to go kill myself. That was his favorite. And my attorney's like, why would you say that to your wife? And if you hated her so much, why didn't you just divorce her? And I quote, I should kill myself because all I cared about was setting up play dates for my children and volunteering at school and the PTA, Lindsay. I was a terrible person.
You're a horrible mother. You're doing your job.
Yeah, doing your job. And also, we had to go through the whole domestic violence and seeing pictures of me and our son and, just flat out denial. So to answer your question emotionally, I really have no words. I don't know if And it's all of it, right? So even though it's 3.5 years later, first emotionally getting out of an abusive relationship, I thought it wasn't going to be harder than that. But then going through this court system, and then, that trial was brutal. But so after the trial, I walked out of the kind of like, deuces, Stanley Mosk. That's where thinking I was done. Like, we had this trial. Everything was, signed. Well, that's another story. But everything was like pretty much done. Walked out of there, wanted to high five the security guard. Like, never going to see me again.
Oh my God.
No.
Vicky, I literally, I'm sorry. I hate cutting off people when they're speaking, but I'm doing it. I literally said the same thing because like the bailiffs, they like rotate. So sometimes they're checking the x-ray machine. So they're like so sometimes they're in the courtroom, sometimes they're in the x-ray machine, at least in our county. And so when our thing was done, I literally was like, never going to see you again. Like, I was the same, like,
deuces!
What? Fuck yeah. And he's like, I'm retiring in October. He literally told me when he was like retiring. And I was like, well, then hell, I'm never going to see you. Like, I'm
never,
so stoked.
ever. Yeah.
And then like, guess what? I'm like, I feel like I'm walking the walk of shame back through the x-ray line. And I'm like, hello.
No, it's me. And just kidding.
Hello?
I'm back.
It's me.
Seriously though, that I think, and I'll never forget, my attorney actually told me, he's like, the reality is, because I'm sitting there again celebrating, he's like, the reality is I don't think he's ever going to leave you alone. And it wasn't really registering at that point.
You're like, you just want the money, dude. You're just
what is happening? And then he's like, my best advice to you is to really just try to move on with your life as much as you can. Which, by the way, when people would say that to me, I'm like, that's easy to say. And this is no offense. You're not going to believe these words I'm about to tell you. I actually love my attorneys. Yes, I have more than one. Not for what I've paid them, but they truly fought for me and my children. Like, truly, truly. Not just like they really, really fought for me and my kids.
I love to hear that, because there's like not a lot of like lawyer loving when I talk to besties.
When I won my domestic violence case and I got another like 5 years on my restraining order, one of my attorneys, we were hugging. I have actually a picture of it in the hallway.
Aww.
Like, she was like teary-eyed because they could see as my case was going on what a horrendous person he was. Mm-hmm. Like again and again and again. So anyway, on a side note, so then it was like not even, what?
That's the hard part, because it's, there's always two sides to every story, as we know. And in a lot of cases, people are like, well, family court, when you walk in, they're like, there's two people and you're immediately labeled high conflict in someone's mind. And as we've said before, it only takes one person to be high conflict. It doesn't mean that both people are, one person is creating the conflict and the other person is navigating that conflict. But they sort of look at you like, well, like maybe she's exaggerating, or maybe this, or maybe he's not so bad. So because that's like, you don't really have a lot of time with your attorney in family court in some situations. So it is, I hate to say this, but it must be super empowering and feeling really like validating to you that they could see who he really was, versus him sitting there like charming the pants off of like everybody and wearing the mask. And you're sitting there like, of course this guy looks like presentable, but like,
beyond, like, he has a big job. He is the poster. He's like, he volunteers. He's a mentor. All the things, right? Like on paper, you're just like, wow, this is like I thought, like he's it of everything. Like, he's good looking and blah, 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 blah.
You kind of find yourself a little bit like falling for it in court too. You're like, wait, have I gotten it wrong the whole time? This guy's
actually, I did not have that moment. I have to tell you, I've never had that moment. And I'll tell you why. The last thing he said to me when he hit me for the last time was he could do whatever the fuck he wanted to me. So that stuck with me. So and then I don't want to say I was lucky is not the word, but I think I would have had that feeling if all of a sudden he was pretending to be this new person and blah, blah, blah. But it was the same shit. Like, it was the same shit. And like the tale as old as time, like bringing his new girlfriend to court. And I'm just like,
what is up with that?
Like, I'm just like, you know what's really funny? I just sat there like, okay, like, I don't want you, dude. I filed for divorce and I have a restraining order. Like, this is not so crazy.
But how like fascinating though that they really think like parading the new supply around the courtroom is going to do anything. Like, it's happened. I've heard it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. And you're like, all you're doing is almost giving like a prelude to like what she's going to go through. So I don't know. Like, is this?
No, but it's just like, it was so, I think the only thing at the time that hurt me, because this was a couple of months only after, is it was more the psychological warfare, because I had really been trained. I was with him for 21 years total, a very long time. So I had been trained I would have no one and nothing. He would replace me like that. So for me, it was more like, oh my God, all those things he said that were going to come true are going to come true.
Yeah.
More like that was the only thing, because, you know, it was so fragile at that point, right? So mine was arrested. Like, that's how ours ended. But anyhow, the court system is real. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite a story. But the court is real. And then he filed papers like maybe 6 months after our trial ended to take me back to court. And that's when I had that, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like, after this soul-crushing trial in 3.5 years, like, what? You know? And that's when I found out they can just keep taking you back, like, theoretically, right?
Right. That piece is the litigation abuse. That piece
1,000%.
Is more control, more power, more giving
100%.
like you all the shit and the stress. So, and they, you know, as we know, they're like the Energizer Bunny. They can just go on and on and
like,
on.
Really? I'm like, what? Oh my God, it's so funny you say that. I'm like, I don't understand. I am exhausted. I want to say, are you not tired? And this is also someone who is, again, this is such a cliche, started a new family, which on a side note, people be like, oh my God, does that upset you? I'm like, no, thank God. Because it takes some energy off of me. Yeah. But he has too much energy. I'm like, I don't get it. You work. You have this other like, please just leave me alone. Yeah. And then, you know, I have 2 kids that are under 18. Mm-hmm. I have them 100%. But I am hoping that once they're old enough, that will at least take some of that away, where he will, you know,
yeah,
leave me alone a bit.
Like, what does he have left that he wants from you? Your soul.
Yes, Lindsay. He wants my soul. 1,000. He wants to suck it like at night. Like the amount of, he should pay me for how much I occupy his brain.
Yeah, seriously, rent's expensive in California too.
Right? It really fucking is. And I have to tell you, not to skip ahead, but I never thought, so he was arrested April 11th, 2021, to tell you how long it's been.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And I have to tell you, it took me, I'd say in the last, it gets better. There's kind of like what I learned healing. It's kind of like a cylinder, like you heal and then you're good. And then you kind of go backwards. You know, it's not just like a linear thing, which I want to tell people that are going through it. Please give yourself grace, because it's hard for people who are going through a trauma bond or abuse. There's still things that I heal from, but I tell you what, one big thing for me, and everyone has their thing, but epiphany I had recently was, gosh, I used to think of things I wanted to tell him, right? And it started off with, because we never spoke after he was arrested, because I've had a restraining order ever since. Oh, okay. So there was never any closure, right? In that sense. But it used to start off like, why did you do this to us? Why did you do this to me and your children and your family? And then it would turn into kind of anger, like, you know what you did, and you have to live with it every day. Like, these are things I would think about. You know what, now, Lindsay, I've got nothing.
That's when
Like,
you know
nothing.
you are like, that's when you know you've healed because, I love that. We talked about this on the show with this analogy of like running after the snake that bit you to ask them why they did it. Why did you bite me? Why? The snake doesn't give a fuck why it bit you. It bit you because that's what snakes do. These people don't give a fuck what they did to you because that's what they do. They're like, this is what I do. And I've probably always done that. And if there's any gap in me not doing it, it's most likely because nobody reported it. So let's be honest. So I feel like you're at that moment and you're like, why? And it's important that you use that word trauma bond because this is the hardest mind fuck of it all. You are still bonded to the person who was horrendous, horrible, deplorable, how all the things, all the D words, dickish, I love the D words, but to you, and you're chemically, like you're neurologically connected, you're addicted to the person. The bond is still there. So like, that is like where you just, it doesn't make sense. And so you're like, if I can just, let me get them in a place. Let me just give them some time. If they could just hear me out and they could just listen. And you sound like a user. You're just like, just give me a little bit. Just give me like a tiny little bit and everything's going to be great. So when you're in that moment, I love to tell our listeners, like all of our bestie gang, there's nothing wrong with you. You are literally addicted to that person. You have spent 20 plus years with that person. Your life has just turned upside down. Like all the things that just in like a non-DV marital collapse fucking hurt. And you have to process through. But then when you're in this moment, you're having to make all these really big decisions, picking a lawyer, going through court, and you're still like in love or trauma bonded to that person. And then when you get to that stage of like, I don't give a fuck. And you're sitting there like, I could literally do not care. Like that anger has to happen first. And like, you can go back and forth. Like you can go.
For sure. And by the way, I do still have some anger. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not like, you're just a great guy. That's not what's happening here. Like there's still things like, like I still have some anger in there, mostly of what actually more related to my children than to me. Yeah. So, but it's not that same. It doesn't, but it's mostly just kind of, nah. Like like I said, it was a big moment for me. If you said to me, all right, he's in the room, you get one shot. I'd be like, no, I don't need it. I don't need that closure. Or like you said, that one little hit or whatever you want to say, I don't need it anymore. And took me a long time to get there. But I just want whoever's listening to know it does happen. And I also want people listening to know that one thing I've also learned through all this, as cheesy as it is to say, your past does not define your future. Right? Just because you've been this, you can rebuild. Listen, I am almost 50 years old. And
I love it.
Life and that is like, I can't believe I said that out loud. Okay, let's get that part.
It's amazing what happens to your face when you're not being emotionally drained all the time, right?
Like truly. I look at pictures of myself and I was a shell of myself. And that's another thing. I have not felt like me like this in, decades, truly. Because when you're in that trauma bond, for people who know, you're just like, I didn't know what way it was up anymore, right? Mm-hmm. If he told me the sky was purple, I'd be like, okay, you're right. It is purple. Like it is. He's correct. And not to go down this road, but people, when I say people, I don't mean everyone, but at least in my life, focused a lot on the physical abuse, because I feel like people can sort of reconcile that in a way of like, okay, this happened to this. But for some reason, it's harder, I found, for people to reconcile. The emotional abuse, in my opinion, is worse.
100%.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts, Yep. And that took me so much longer to heal from than the physical, because those bruises are long gone, right?
I also imagine that we have like the DV curious folks that are also listening. and they don't know what they're in, or they're involved. One of their friends, their sisters, their mothers, or whatever are involved in this. And it's like, until there's a physical bruise, it's much like an illness. Like until someone's like, oh, I have cancer. And you're like, oh, you look perfectly healthy. And then until they lose their hair, they're like, oh, you have cancer. And it's the same with like DV. Like, well, really? Is it that bad? And also, if it's so bad, why are you here? Why did you stay? Why are you there?
Oh, yes. That was my other, all the questions, right? And I get the questions, and I would probably ask the same. And that goes back to like when you're talking about a trauma bond, right? Unless, like many other things in life, unless you've experienced it, you have no idea how debilitating it is. You have no idea where it's like your perpetrator is the only one that can save you in this really fucked up cycle, right? How you have shame, how you have like, I mean, I would just sit there not being able to move.
Yeah.
Right. And then also I had my kids. So for me, it was, okay, who's going to protect my kids if I'm not here? Right. And if fear, I would say the fear was my biggest thing. And my therapist, Nadine Macaluso, who is
shout out
incredible.
to Dr. Nay. We love you.
Gotta shout out Dr. Nay. I'd highly recommend her book, Run Like Hell, for anyone who thinks or wants to know more about trauma bonds, which again, this is one of the reasons I'm here. I want to, yes.
Not sponsored by Dr. Nadine Macaluso, but we fucking love her. She's a baddie. Run like hell, bitches.
But I just want people to share my story, to educate, even if people are in healthy relationships, like the signs to look out for. And then I also want women to know that are in it, there is a way out. But it's fucked up when you're in it. It's really fucked up. And I'm not from this country. My entire family is elsewhere. So he also used that against me. But the fear, and it was Nadine that said to me one day, and you know how people just say something that really just sticks with you? And she's like, Vicky, one day you'll see it's like the Wizard of Oz. And when you pull back the curtain and there is no wizard.
I have chills.
And that really stuck with me, Lindsay. Yeah. And even when there's moments now, because he does scare the shit out of me, I'm not going to lie to you. I have to remind myself, he's not the wizard. And then, so I get teary eyed. And then she's like, and you'll realize you had the ruby slippers all along. Oh, and then until this day, like, gets me like so emotional. Oh. And so I want to tell anyone else who's listening, like you've always had those ruby slippers, you know, and I know that it's scary and there's a lot of fear, but there is another side. I promise you. Even like we're talking about the scary court things and this and that. And I've heard horrendous court stories. So let me share, court, how do you say it's positive? But I had judges, how you asked me before, you know, are they going to see? And his crying on the stand. Like, I'll never forget one day he was like, Vicky, this is him on the stand, like trying to talk to me. We were best friends. Like, I love you. And I'm like, is this like real? Like, is this real right now? MG. And so then I look like, you know, the bitch just sitting there, like not reacting. Right.
Yes.
But I had a judge at our trial who, she wanted to meet with each of us in closed chambers, like with just us and the attorney. And she looked at me, Lindsay, and she goes, I see you. And
you must have just died.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
But I mean, mind you, this is days and days of witnesses. And she didn't just say that like, oh, Vicky looks like a nice girl, you know, sitting there. This is like evidence-based and
she's got her job to do.
Yeah, but she understood domestic violence. So I was extremely fortunate to have a judge that got it. Yeah. Right? And you could see the questions she was asking him. He was like falling for it hook, line, and sinker. And I'm just like oh my God. That's your answer, dude? Like, hello? No? Okay. Crazy pants. Like, you know. But I just wanted to share something positive too, that there are judges that get it and that understand.
Thank you for saying that, because we do have I do find that there's like, we talk about a lot of doom and gloom in the family court system, and family court system on its own is like not the place you want to find yourself anyway, just for all the things. But thank you. There are judges that understand their responsibility, and they are being like, they're making the decisions that are the best for everyone, and the kids included. So that's inspiring, because if you're there, and you just pray to God.
And I mean, sometimes like I didn't have a choice. I had to be there. Like there was no way I was going to mediate, and we tried, but there's just no way. Right? Like,
no. And the thing is this is the unfortunate part. It sounds like your ex, like when we talk about the Energize Your Bunny situation, they also have he has a degree. He has 2 degrees. He gets to go back to work. His network and his net worth never stopped growing. You take on the stay-at-home mom role, which is a C-suite level fucking job, guys. Like, it is the most important job in a family. And I want to just say, like, big screw you to every shitty ex-husband who has taken advantage of that woman and then uses it against you. Like, you have given up your job. You have given up your financial autonomy. You have given up your resources, your network, your net worth to be a kept woman. And they're like, your husband's like, look at you with your kept woman life. Like, isn't it so amazing?
Kept a woman life.
And they're sitting there just like racking up their resources, probably fucking their secretary. And they're
his was a stripper, but that's okay.
Oh, they love the strippers, don't they?
Yes, they really do. But she actually called me. She preferred dancer, but that's another story.
I called the stripper. She didn't clear.
Oh, you called?
I went unhinged. I called.
Oh my God, what was her name? I wonder if it was the same one. I'm just kidding.
No. And then I was like, this is how psychotic I was. Like, this is how I was like trying to rationalize that this would be okay. And I was like, just all I need to know is please just tell me, did you kiss on the mouth? And like, for whatever.
Because this is going to make it all okay or not okay. That's it.
I love the propositioning, all the things I've seen and read. That I have reached a point where I can be okay with this as long as you didn't kiss on the mouth. And she's like, bitch, please. Like, he hired me. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I did my job, you know? And then I was like, oh my God, like, I'm a mom. We have babies. She's like, blocked me, I'm sure, immediately. But I was like, that was the bar I set so fucking low that I tripped over it after I got off the phone with her.
Right, but isn't it kind of like mine was, I blamed it on myself because I had just had my first child.
Yeah. Well, I was blamed for not meeting their needs. And like, of course.
Oh my God, so was I. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I was like, oh my God, he's right. He's right. Yeah, it's my fault because I just had a baby. And I should just be back on it. I don't know. I've never done a striptease. I don't know how to do it. Maybe this isn't it, but
I have a phone number we could call and learn.
Oh my God. Okay, perfect. Great. I might need that for my next job. But it's so true. Yeah. But I read a stat sometime or long ago, and maybe I have the numbers a little off, but that after divorce, generally speaking here, a man's net worth goes up and a woman's goes significantly down. You know, and I've sat in court where, you know, it's public court, as you know, so you're just waiting for your turn with women, you know, crying that they are going to lose their house because their ex didn't pay them. Like mine didn't pay support for 6 months. And if it wasn't for the fact I had help from friends and family, I mean, I had no food. I couldn't go anywhere. And I don't mean to, I know that I'm also fortunate compared to some, right? But it's the same MO, right? Yeah. And it's really effed up. And to your point, thank you for acknowledging that. I have to start over.
Yeah.
So when he plays the victim, I think that is one part that still angers me because he still does play the victim. I'm like, do you think it was fun to be abused for 21 years, watch my children be abused, and then have to blow up my life to start over?
Yeah. And I bet you he blamed you for breaking up the family.
Oh, Oh, he did to my children. It is all my fault. He would write letters to my children when he was allowed to, saying, I never wanted this. I wanted our family forever. I'm like, yes.
Well, then you should have
correct.
been nicer. Like
You
don't
are
hit
correct.
people that you want to stay with. Like we learned that.
Yeah, you don't do that.
preschool.
You don't, push your son who's 7 years old down the stairs or kick him in the stomach or there's like, or all the, and that's why I said, I all the emotional abuse that at times was on a daily basis that I think too, for me, I try to manage it so much. And it was almost like I was used to it in some fucked up way. And I say that because I'll never forget my neighbors when everything happened was like, Vicky, we all knew.
Yes.
And we thought about calling the police, and the way he would talk to you, like even in front of everyone. And I was so snowplowed. I didn't even see that how he talked to us on a normal basis was fucked up.
Yeah. How fucked up is that, right? And then you're like, my older kids say the same thing. They're like, the way that like we were spoken to when we would go to other people's houses, we're like, wait, what's going on here? This is weird. These people, like they were so used to just toxic and walking on eggshells and like just being talked down to. Their opinion didn't matter. You like, I'm just condescending, all the things, and you get used to it. And I love that you were saying like you got so like you get desensitized to
100%.
the bad words. I mean, like he would be like, you stupid fucking cunt. And I'm like, what do you want for breakfast? Like, I was like, okay. Now I'm like, I am fucking cunty. Like, you like it?
I love that. Yeah.
Super cunt. But at the time you get so desensitized and then you're running around. I want to ask you this. You're running around trying to manage his emotions so they're not affecting the kids' emotions. Like there's like a lot of just like, did you have health issues? Was your hair falling out? Did you have hormone problem, or did you have like mystery?
I had constant mystery illnesses.
Yep. There we go.
That is, and it's so interesting that you asked me that, because I just thought about that not too long ago. Like, don't get me wrong. I still get a cold here, like normal stuff.
Right.
I was like, wow, really, there's days I couldn't get out of bed, or I'd have debilitating headaches, or just my stomach hurt all the time, or whatever it was. Vertigo. Well, that was also partly because I smashed my head into the floor. So maybe that's a bad example. But yes, a lot of mystery illnesses is the best, which sucked because I'd be like, you're always like this or that. And I'd be like, oh my God, I am. He's right. Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, you feel crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. He was good at making me, even till this day, well, he doesn't make me feel crazy anymore. Let me just reiterate that. But trying to,
Well, and that's the gaslighting I want like our besties to listen to. If you're with somebody who's if he's smashing your head in the ground, like, holy fuck. But here's the thing. It's not your fault. And I have to say this to our besties listening. If you're in a physically abusive relationship and you're still in it, please do your best to like love yourself and not shame yourself, because these relationships are not easy to get out of for a multitude of reasons.
Agreed. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think the statistics is like it takes 7 times for a woman to try to leave before she does. And I just love that you say, like, be kind with yourself. Like, don't feel shame because you stay or you go back. I love that you're saying that.
Because it doesn't make sense, right? You're just like, you're trying to come out of something. And even when someone's emotionally abusing you. But I love, Vicky, that you're talking to this really important point. You are trying to keep your kids safe. So in our minds, we're like, well, that safety looks like me staying in the relationship because you don't know what's on the other side. So you're just assuming that you're going to have to share custody. And in most situations, you will have to share custody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, myself included, are like, I'd rather just stay so I can manage them. But that's not working either. Like, that's like, I want to really just, you understand now looking back, like you can't stay because it's going to get God knows
And I
what's gonna
see
happen.
everything that my children went through after I left.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized emotionally. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know till this day the stuff that they deal with. And they're so much better thanks to therapists and time. But it was really gnarly what they went through. And my older one, I had one therapist say to me, because he was 11. And she's like, Vicky, if you had stayed longer, it's not to say it's impossible, but the older they get, the more they're exposed to this, the harder it obviously is. Like anyone,
Yeah,
right?
right.
I had more damage as an adult because I was exposed to it for 21 years, right?
Right.
So I was also fortunate. So shout out to all the therapists out there, because Lindsay, believe it or not, I had some therapists who wouldn't touch my children because of they're like, this is going to be litigated. And I don't want a piece of it. And especially for my younger son, who really was like, he couldn't leave the house. He was so scared of like his dad coming and taking him or killing me were his words, at
God.
8, 9 years old. And I'm like, I need someone to help my son. I don't have the tools. And I finally found a therapist. And gosh, my ex has sued her. He's threatened her. He's tried to have her fired numerous times from our case. So she's been through it.
Oh my God. What a baddie.
She is a baddie, let me tell you. And if you saw my younger son now, he is a different kid. And people who haven't seen him in years will be like, oh my gosh, he's a different kid. I'm like, I know. But my point was, it was crazy how it was like 6 or 7 therapists later that I finally found her.
I mean, shit. Well, because they're scary as fuck. These people, like they're scary. And that's their goal, or,
The fear's a real thing. The fear. And I always say he's like predictably unpredictable, which doesn't make sense. But in some ways, he's so predictable. In other ways, I'm like, what the fuck is he going to do next? It's like a very strange combination. And I have to catch myself sometimes because I do still live in fear of him. And when we had our domestic violence trial, and he's saying how he's a change man, whatever, I actually broke down with the judge, and it makes me want to cry now. I was like, I don't want to be a statistic. And I pleaded with the judge. I'm like, please don't let me be a statistic where he just shows up at my fucking door.
Yeah.
And just has that break.
Yeah.
Yeah. And till this day, there's a part of me, not so much anymore, but it's that predictable unpredictability. I'm like, to what extent is he going to try to suck out my soul?
Yep.
Or try to ruin my life? To be honest with you, Lindsay, that's one thing. What is it? Radical acceptance.
Right.
I think he's going to be 99 years old and still try.
I say,
Truly.
I liken it to the snake in the basket. It's like you walk by this basket every day and you're like, everything's fine. Just a normal fucking weaved basket. And then they just pop out and you're like, oh, there it is. There's a snake.
Oh my God, that's so true. You're like, oh, hello. Oh yes. There you are.
There you are. And that's the same. And sometimes, Vicky, I don't know if you found yourself doing this, but I'd be like, fuck, Lindsay, what's so fucking wrong with you? You knew this because they're so predictably unpredictable. I'm like, you knew this was going to happen. Why are you surprised? Why?
Yeah, 100%.
I would just find myself all the time being like, you're like, what the fuck, Linz? And especially in the beginning where like feigning nice and like, let's just have dinner together or let's have lunch together or whatever. And then I'm like, I guess we could for the family. I guess we could do this like thing. And fucking so just every time I'm like, when are you going to learn, Linz? When are you going to learn? And I'm learning and I'm not surprised. And I am on high alert. I know that this is a game. I know that it's a negative sum game, let's be real, but it's like they're 5 moves ahead. So I'm constantly wondering like, how is this? Or like anytime they say something, I can't take it at face value like a normal person. I'm like, where's the manipulation? Where's the twisting? And how is this
God, I relate to that so much. And I have to tell you, that part's exhausting, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
It's like, just say what you want to say. Don't say what you don't want to say. Just like everything is strategic or manipulation, or like you said, I feel like that Energizer bunny, their brain is always turning, trying to figure out some fucking scheme, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah. And thank
that
God,
part
by
is
the
exhausting.
way, if that's the relationship that you're in with your ex or you're co-parenting that way and you can't figure out their game, congratulations. You're not a fucking like evil person.
Agreed.
You know, like you can't when our kids are young, because this is usually happening when the kids are young. Obviously, we hope by the time they're 18, like things settle down. The conversations, the exchanges are like pretty much over very nominal, small things like sports, school, it's like, but how do they change like, a pair of cleats getting dropped off into like the fucking most insane situation, or like you're in these moments going, how are we having a conversation about tennis shoes right now? Like this is, I always say too, like, I can't wear the shoes. I can't go to the summer camp. I can't go to the football game. So why do you think you're punishing me? Because you're not. You're just punishing the kids. But
I think that is such an amazing. So he can't speak to me because of my restraining order.
Okay.
But the things that he does indirectly, I'm like, you are literally just punishing your children.
Yes.
Like you're literally directly, not indirectly, directly just punishing your children.
Yes.
And you're curious as to why they still want nothing to do with you. And it's like, it's just, that is still to this day mind blowing to me. I'm like, it has nothing to do with me, is directly to do with your children. And then if I could backtrack for a second, that as much as we talk about like the high alert and it's exhausting and what are they going to do? One piece of advice, again, Dr. Nay, that helped me is I really stopped trying to figure out, or I have to stop myself to try to figure out what he's going to do, because you can't, to your point, and just focus on me, like my life, and when I was in litigation, my case, like what I am doing, not reacting to what he is doing, but just focusing on me. And that really helped me also in my healing. And it just made less and less brain cells for him, which goes back to the rent. Because when I was really in it, again, Dr. Nay said to me, Vicky, he may not live in your house, but he still lives in your head. And I was like, darn it, get out.
Yeah. Rent free, by the way.
Evict your ass. I don't want you mad anymore. But she was right, you know? And it took a while, but so even like to this day when, I'm still dealing with him in litigation, this and that, it's hard, but I try my best to no, fuck that. All right. I know I've got amazing attorneys. I know I'm doing the right thing. So instead I'm going to focus on my future, on my kids, and not give him any more fucking space in my head, which goes back to all of that where I don't have anything to say to you anymore, dude. Like I've got literally nothing.
Hell yeah.
Bon chance. I don't know. Like I have nothing,
that's where you get your power back. That is that radical acceptance. And that is that point where you can show up for yourself and then be showing up for your kids. I know you sound like the moms that I like to hang with. And when you're looking at your kids struggling and when you're looking at like things that don't make sense, I was talking to another family who they are divorced, but they have fucked up shit. I know they do, but like it's pretty peaceful. And the dad was like, or the mom was saying she doesn't have a lot of money and she's not working, but like their kids in like every sport, has all the new clothes, like has the like cool bike, has the birthday party. And I was sitting there being like, I don't like to live in a state of like envy because it's not healthy. But I was like, man, I'm so envious because this kid gets to like live their own, like their best life because the dad has the money to do it. And he doesn't shame the mom for not having the money. And he doesn't like fuck up the kids, like life experiences, because he's trying to hurt the mom so much. And when you are so hell bent on making the mother of your child suffer financially, emotionally, otherwise, at the expense or stake of the emotional or experiential, I made that word up. I don't think that exists.
But I like it.
Of your kids.
I'm gonna use that.
Then fuck you, dude. You know, like, why? Because it's just like the kids are here. They have, you know, those things on Instagram, 18 summers, 18 Christmases, 18 Thanksgiving, 18 spring breaks. Like, why would you not want to pitch up and be the like fucking dad of the year by providing the things that they need, and instead of being like, well, if you're like, if the mother's not doing it, well, then it's not happening. Like, dude, just grow up.
I think that's such an excellent point. It goes back to like, you're directly hurting your kids by hurting the mother.
Yes.
And I was going to say, again, I had my kids 100% and he didn't pay me, like I said, for 6 months and all the other nonsense that I'm getting into since then. Right. It's like, so you don't want me to have money to feed your children.
I am not going to give like what, not $1 is going to be given to put food in your mouth. And like, if that's the mindset, it's like, still okay.
But that is for sure my ex's mindset. I remember when I started getting support, it's now garnished because he was fucking around, of course. He would send checks that said blackmail, like in the memo. And I was like, huh? Wasn't it like, how is this blackmail? I don't understand what is actually happening right now.
Can I say this, Vicky? You're not sitting at a table of one with that shit. I have heard this so much. I've seen pictures of these, like what they say in the memo. Someone was like super bad, like the smallest writing that was like, you are the evil fucking bitch from hell that I hope. Like, I mean, just on the memo field, like how did you even get it that small?
Like that's a talent. He's like, hold on, I need a new check. I'm going to do it again.
Hold on. I'm like, what?
But and energy, right? But you go back to Energizer Bunny because, that is just so true. Yes. Like the energy to sit there and like do that and the whole thing, right? Yeah. It takes a certain fucking person.
Yeah.
Like,
or the checks really are like,
does.
I've had the check, little where you write it field and then where the numbers are versus the written out things don't match. And I didn't notice it. And then like standing in the bank and they're like, oh, we can't do anything with this. I'm like, why? They're like, oh, well, it says like whatever, 1, 2, 3, 6. And this says 1, 2, 3, 7. And or 1, 2, 6, 3, 6 or whatever. So it's like an inverted number. And you're like, you're a smart fucking person. I know you didn't fuck this up, but now I have to go back and then you have to ask for the check again. And then you're like,
yeah, it's just all that stuff. It's exhausting, but it is control. It is control. You know, and sorry, and one more example of, because this is where I still have anger, like I said, when it comes to my kids, right?
Okay.
My older son got into his dream high school. It happens to be a private school, and refusing to help pay for it. And this is a guy that makes millions of dollars a year.
Oh, okay? Gross.
It is so gross. He stopped putting money into like their 529 college accounts. And I'm like, why? That directly hurts your children.
Yes. Directly. Like what the hell? You can't, again, Vicky, you can't use that 529 yourself. You're not going to the private school yourself. Why did I don't know why. Like whatever dirty mag they're all passing around this, because they're all reading the same fucking playbook. There's a chapter in there that's like wrong and outdated. And so when you do that to your kids, like the mother, of course, thinks you're even a bigger asshole, but then so does your kid. And I think to myself, I'm like, do these people think that their kids are never going to grow up, like, and get older? Are they like, do they think that does like time stop for them? And this, I'm like, I'm not just asking for a friend. I'm like literally asking this, like, why do they think that like the kids is like manipulated with like candy and a trip to Disneyland forever?
Oh my God. So my older son is 15 now. And I swear my ex still thinks he's that 3-4-year-old that he can manipulate in that way.
Yeah.
And my 15-year-old is like, no, like I see you.
Yes.
Like I see right through you.
So that they see you, I like, here's the message to all the the guys that are listening, we know who you are. Like,
hey, just kidding.
Hey, what's happening? How's your day? I want to they're watching, right? They're listening. Your kids are watching you. So just be fucking awesome for your kids.
Agreed. And it's really not that hard. And at least mine, so it's about the kids. I care about the kids. Bullshit.
No.
Match your actions.
Yeah.
Match your actions.
Right.
Because in the end, you are going to lose that relationship with your children. And you bring that up, the 18 summers or whatever it is. Well, guess what? This is your chance to either fuck up your relationship with your children. Like, these are the years where you bond with your children, right? Which isn't to say later on, great, maybe you'll have like a half-assed relationship somehow. But that's it. And it's going to be your doing.
So I want to ask you, Vicky, with this dream high school. So is this a power play? So is he's using it as a chess piece? Like, well, if mom pays for it, you can go, or is he saying, Vicky, like he can't talk to you, but is he using it as a manipulation? Like he wants something if you'll do this, or he knows it's important to you? Because sometimes I feel like, should we just be like, what's the reason?
And it goes back to a lot of times, I don't think there fucking is one besides control. And my hypothesis, Lindsay, is that, he told my kids too, if you stay with your mom, you'll have no one and nothing. She's going to take all your money, like all this stuff, right? And the truth is, yes, has our lifestyle changed? But in the grand scheme of things, we're fucking thriving. And we're thriving because we can be ourselves. We're thriving because they've met all this community. They're thriving because, they have new friends like this and that. And he never expected that.
Hell yeah.
So I think something happened where he had no control over, zero to fucking do with it. All right. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens my son got recruited to the #1 high school for football in the whole United States.
Oh, okay? Damn.
Yeah. And so it had nothing fucking to do with him. And never in a million years did he think that we were going to thrive in this way. So I think that's why he's butthurt. And I think he is hoping also that if he doesn't participate, that I can't make it happen.
You're like, fuck around and find out.
So of course I made it happen. Right?
Yes, you did.
Because I'll do whatever the fuck it takes to make it happen.
Yes,
so I think
will.
it's twofold. I think it's control, and then it's hoping that I won't make it happen, and then maybe he'll come crawling back to, I don't know. These are because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't. And good for you. You're like, hell yeah, you made it happen. And again, they're not hurting you, especially now. You're in a place of like, I'm going to say this word again, this phrase, this radical acceptance. You're at a place like, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to, like, me paying for this or me figuring it out does not bother me anymore. I literally do not care.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, it is that kind of grass in the basket. I love that. I was like, oh yes, there you are again.
The snake
Thank
in the
you,
basket.
sir.
You're like, there you are.
Oh yeah, I forgot about you for a second.
And that's the other thing. Like, that's the power, right? That's the power. That's where your kids know. That's why you are the safe parent, right? That's why you're like, and it's not as if you're sitting there being like, I'm the only one who does anything for you. They just see it. And you're not doing it to win their love, because you don't need to do that. You're doing it because that's the best decision for your child, and you're going to make it happen. So I love that. I love that so much. And that's the most powerful thing. And again, it doesn't matter. I survived solely because my family paid my rent. That is the reality. Like I would have been like living in my car or like a homeless encampment, and that would have been fine for him, but for sure. And my family stepped in and my family stepped up. And what they would always say is like, we're doing this because it's the right thing to do. We're doing this for our grandkids. We're doing this because, like, why wouldn't we? And they're not rich. It's not, I mean, they do well. They're going to be listening to this. Like, why the fuck did you say we're not rich? They are rich in experience and love and amazingness, and resources are abundant. They're awesome. They're like my favorite people. And they stepped up and they helped. And it was like, why would they not? And they'll send money for shoes and they'll send money for this. And so then I'm like, why is it so easy for normal people to understand that the only person who's walking into school looking like that is because of you? Like, why would you want your kids to not, like, if you have the money or you have the resources, why wouldn't you want them to look their best? Or, you know?
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think for me, again, like I said, the only thing that still just get me is how he treats our children. And he's all about the parental alienation. And he tried to get them, now it's illegal in California, but shipped off to one of those where they take them for like 3 months or more away. God. He actually tried to get that.
Thank God that's illegal.
Tells you, yeah. But if that tells you anything about his way of thinking, you think it's in the best interest of our children to be ripped away from their lives to in some fucking crazy camp for months and months.
Yeah.
Right. And I actually, maybe there is one thing now that we're saying I would say to him, which is your relationship with your children is all you. You did this. You created this.
Amen, sister.
You know?
Yes. And that's the most, it is. It's only them. But they've never they don't have, you know, they've never taken accountability, right? So there's like no accountability. So they can't see that. And that's where, when you finally get to the point where Vicky is, besties, and you will get there, it's like you cannot control them. You've never been able to control them. They don't give a fuck what you think. And if they ever pretended like they cared about your opinion, it was just so that they could get something from you, probably ass. But like, it was really just, sorry. And I'm saying this, like, they do not care about what you think. Mm-mm. So that's going to like free up a lot of emotional real estate for us when we realize that like, yeah, they don't care. So if you operate on that, like, well, since we know they don't care, I'm going to just stop putting so much energy and effort into it and make the decisions that best work for the kids and myself.
Agreed. That, and if I could just, don't let fear, I know it's really, really hard, but fear at the end of the day is a farce. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't let that debilitate you. I know how hard it is, but I promise you, once you realize that they're the wizard and there's nothing behind the curtain, you know, you'll be amazed at how you can really move forward and the empower you had within you the entire time.
I love that.
So,
and let me ask you this. What was it sounds like we didn't get too deep into it because sometimes we don't need to. Sometimes like I can just feel the energy from the guests and I'm like, we need some good energy on the show sometimes. And it's like, we all know because we've been there and like, we all know what physical violence looks like. Thank you for saying emotional violence is worse because it is. That's the insidious, slow burn, mental
death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. Yes. And it's like, you were physically assaulted multiple times. Your kids were physically assaulted multiple times. What was your last day? What was your last straw?
So for me, you know, I used to kind of be ashamed of the fact that I wasn't one of those women who came up with this plan and like, today's the day. And that was not my story. My story was some physical violence had occurred, but I was still very much in fear and living in this like debilitating place and not wanting to leave my children. I had never even told Dr. Nay about the abuse because once you say it, put it in the universe, that's a whole different ballgame, right? And then you've said it and there's consequences to that. And I remember I called her and I'm like, I think I need a job. Or I texted her rather. And she's like, what? This is like out of the blue. What's that? And then she's like, what's really going on? She's very intuitive. And then I showed her a picture of my face because he had headbutted me. And she was like, and now we're done. And I'll never forget that. And now we're done. That's all she said to me. And she wasn't like, pack up your bags right now. And because you can't tell people that. No. I was not. And I'd love to tell you that after that happened, I was like, I'm leaving, but I wasn't there. And fast forward, horrible week. You know, I'm threatened. I'm being told. I remember in Miami at this hotel, I'm looking out in the ocean. He's like, it's beautiful, isn't it? I'm like, it is. He's like, just remember, all of that can go away like that. You know, a lot of things like that. And so fast forward, it was spring break. We come back, a lot of other things happened. And then I was sequestered to the guest room because that's where, you know, he wanted to punish me. He wanted me to know what life would be like without him. No one and nothing, no one and nothing. That was very ingrained. He tore up all my clothes. He was going to tell me clothes to sell, what I could keep. Like, our house was a wreck. And so I'm in the guest room. I'm fast forwarding a little bit for sake of time. I'm in the guest room. He put the kids to bed. And I had, one important part I forgot. I had confided in one of my best friends what had happened. And it was the first time besides Dr. Nay. And she just freaked out, which I understand. And she's like, this is not okay. I remember like, this is not okay. This is not okay. And I was like, please, please, please. Like, this is why I haven't told anyone. There's nothing for you to do. She's like, I don't know. I was like, please, please, please. And so she did say, she's like, Vicky, we made a plan that if ever happened again, I would call her and she would call the police. And honestly, Lindsay, I did it just to make her shut the fuck up. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with it. I'm like, it's even though I knew it was going to happen again, I'm like, it's not going to. And so I was like, I'll just shut her up and then not have to deal with this anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, a week later, I'm in the guest room. He comes in, he's like, found some purse. He says, I've never had, he found a reason to be angry with me. Right. It could be like the wind went the wrong way. And he came in and he threw water in my face. Like, I fucking hate you. And then he went out of the room again. And this is me, still not ready to leave, Lindsay, still not ready. And I put a new shirt on because, again, I had clothes in there because that's my new home, the guest room, and went to bed. And he comes in again, and he's a big guy. He used to play football. And so I'm sitting on the bed, and he's above me. And I just have this, I'm like, I just had enough. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, you can't keep treating me this way. But I was almost begging him. Like, if in that moment he'd be like, you're right, Vicky, I'm sorry. Honestly, Lindsay, I would probably still be married. But instead, he looked at me and he's just like, he's like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then hit me on the side of the head. And it was like an out-of-body experience. And I really think it was Dr. Nay's voice saying, we're done.
Yeah.
And I just got up and I just kept saying, no, 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 no. Like, that's all I kept saying was no.
Yeah.
And then he was like mocking me, like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to call Liz, who's my girlfriend. And he was like, okay, whatever. And then he put it, she didn't pick up. She called me back. He puts it on speaker and he's like, hello, like in this voice. And you hear her go, and then hang up. And she's like, Vicky, I just knew. I heard his voice and I just knew. And so he didn't know we had this plan, and she called the police.
She stuck to the plan. Oh, well, yes. Hell yeah.
It makes me emotional. She literally,
I love it.
she did.
Yes.
She saved my boys and I. So that was it. Again, I'd love to say I didn't have a plan. It wasn't until that one moment when you hear it, like his eyes were just black. And Lindsay, I saw it when he said he could do whatever the fuck he wanted to me. I saw his eyes. And I'm like, now it was my face from the week before. I'm like, what's the next? Like, we're upping the ante, you know?
Yes.
So that was it. That was the moment.
And I have to say this. I love this. I love this. It's so important. First of all, you're so brave and you're a baddie. And I'm so incredibly grateful to your BFF, your bitch fighting for freedom on the other side of that phone.
Oh, I love this. Yes.
Love her. And you've said two things. The black eyes, those are real. Their eyes go incredibly dark. I don't know what happens. It's like all the fucking evil comes out. The lights go, and any light goes off and the evil comes out. Their eyes go black. And I love that you said you didn't have a plan because there's no shame in that. You don't want to have a plan. You don't expect to needing these plans. Like, we hope when I shared my story, when I have you come on and share your story, we want to teach the women that are listening the things that we wish we had known. But if you don't have a plan right now, get a plan. But like, it's okay. Because so many times you're just like, I got to go when I have to go. And like, I love that you chose to believe him because that was your power. And Dr. Nay in your head saying that, but like, you just made that decision. I'm just going to believe this, that he's going to do this. and you got to go. Did he get arrested that night?
He did. He actually, when the police came in, he went to the couch and turned on ESPN and was sitting like this. Like
Like
I
a
swear.
fucking baller? Like what?
Yeah. It's funny, not funny. It's like, what's happening right? Yeah.
He's like, nothing odd happening here. Just casual Thursday night watching ESPN
just watching
highlights.
ESPN. Don't mind my wife, bruised up and wet, and our whole house like there should never. Don't worry about it.
Oh my effing G.
Yeah.
Okay. So shout out. This is what I want to say too. I love that you also are making it known to our besties. Don't feel bad if you haven't told anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like a liar. I'm lying to everybody. I'm lying. Like you're not lying. You're protecting your abuser.
Surviving. You're fucking surviving.
You're surviving.
Yes.
And the second, I love that you said that, because the second you say it, you have to fucking name it. The second you have to do something with it. And it's like, you can't unring the bell. And that moment is scary. That moment of like, and of course, who's going to want to come over for a fucking barbecue after you're like, well, last night he beat the shit out of me? No one. Or that's what you know what I mean? You're like, you're trying to survive. You're trying to keep your life together. There's probably somewhere in your mind, that you need to go, but you don't know when. You're a stay-at-home mom. You don't have the money. They've been coercively controlling you, telling you will be living on the streets. You will have nothing. All this will go away like this on purpose, so that you have these moments of fear of like, well, how many nights I can count where I'm going, there's like, how many years do I have left until, like, you're like doing this fucking crazy math.
Oh my God.
Like,
I was saying like when they're 18 and then they'll be in college and then the da. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So if you haven't told anybody, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no shame. If you're sitting in therapy and you haven't told your therapist, there's nothing wrong with your survival tactic. Like, that's what you're doing. And then I love it. Find a bestie, that you can like put that plan in place. I love that. And that's not really hard. It's like, I think too, like, people are like, get a safety plan. What the fuck does that look like? Where am I going to keep a bag that like they're already going through your shit? Where am I going to keep the go bag?
Yeah.
Where am I going to keep I don't have the digits to the safe where all of my documents are in. I don't have these things. So like, as much as we want to say get safe and it's not as easy as we wish it could be. So maybe your safety plan is that phone call to a friend, and just like, when I say baloney pants, I need you to call the police.
Baloney pants. Baloney pants. No. Initiated. And I want to also say, like, have grace with yourself.
Yes.
I think shame, at least for me, was a big part of it. Please be easy on yourself. Because like we're saying, you're surviving. Sometimes it's not even, for me, it was like an hour at a time. It wasn't even a day at a time. So please be easy with yourself. Know that there's people that see you, that know what you're going through, that will believe you if you're not there yet, and that you're not alone. And I promise it doesn't even have to be abuse, right? We're talking about that, but whether it's divorce, starting over, you can start over at any point in your life. Like, you can get to yourself again. Like, this doesn't have to be the end of your story, you know?
Yes.
It's not worth it, man. Like, if I sit here, even all the stuff that I've been through that we're talking about, I would do it again in a heartbeat. I mean, would I have done it sooner? Yes, but that's besides the point. But I just think life unfolds, if you believe in the universe or whatever it is, for whatever reason, the way it's supposed to. But are you kidding me? Like, looking at my kids thriving, like, again, me sitting here with you right now, like, you're my new friend, like, how new connections I've made, new experiences, like, oh my gosh, life is so much better on the other side with my ruby slippers.
It is. I love that. You're like on the other side of the rainbow, somewhere over the rainbow. Vicky is sitting there with her ruby slippers, fucking hopefully having a margarita. Like, life is good. You're like, or you don't have, if you're not a drinker, maybe it's just a spritz. That's fine.
Yes. Maybe a rosé.
Vicky, you are such a baddie. I am so incredibly grateful to Megan Judge for introducing us, because this has been one of my favorite conversations, if not my favorite conversation. And the feel like you just give good vibes, and we need some good vibes in this space. So
thanks, Whip. And just to let you know, if you think you're getting rid of me, we are definitely going to be friends forever.
We are BFFs. So. We are freaking bitches fighting for freedom, for life. And we don't live that far from each other. If you're listening, like we live not that far from each other. I might have to like spend the night if I come up, but and
you're welcome to my mansion. Just kidding.
Yeah. I promise you. Yeah, it is. But it is. It's an emotional mansion.
Yes, it is. I love that. This is an emotional mansion. Okay? Let me just tell you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for being brave and being a baddie and like a great mom and fighting the good fight for the rest of us.
And thank you for having me, and just we need more people like you. Like really that not to spread the word, but empower women to know they're not alone going through all of this. So thank you for what you're doing. Seriously.
Oh, that means
it's amazing.
The world. It really does. That means the world. It is like, let's fucking go. MILF Mafia representing.
Again, I need my hat.
I've got 2 colors. So, here's the hot pink. This one also matches your nails. So you can choose.
That is cute. I don't know. I'm really stuck on this black one.
I like the black. I like the black is vibing. Like I haven't worn it. I don't think I've worn it on the show yet, so that'll be cool. But it is vibing.
I humbly request the black one, please.
Okay. Yes. Well, it is on its way to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Very special episode of Bitch Sesh. And well, we're gonna have to have you back. That's it.
I would love
We're going to have you back.
I would love to.
And
so much more to talk about.
Yes. And we will get together in person soon.
I seriously adore you. Thank you
I adore
so much
you
for having me.
Thank you so much. And bye, besties. Love you. What an amazing episode with our new bestie on this episode of Bitch Sesh. Thank you so much for joining. If this resonates with you, if you are liking this conversation, please do like, share, subscribe, and review. You can find us on all of the platforms, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your shows. Share it with somebody, share it with a bestie, join the bestie gang. And if you're in immediate danger, please use 911, crash on a friend's couch, do whatever you have to do to get safe. The hotline is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go to thehotline.org. Live chat, completely confidential. They're there for you. They've got your back. Their phone number is 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-START. Reach out. They've got your back. We love you. You can join our bestie gang on Patreon, patreon.com/bitch is a bad word. We are building the biggest, baddest bestie gang over there. There are sneak peeks, early release, spilling the tea with Lindsay, merch, discounts, ad-free episodes. It's amazing. Please come join us over there. Send me your texties from your XDs. You can reach me on Instagram at bitchesabadwordpod. Send me your DM. I answer all of them personally. You can find us on TikTok and YouTube at bitchesabadword. I've started doing a YouTube live a couple times a week where I just have my own personal bitch sesh, my solo episodes, and we just walk through things and I take audience questions, and it's a cool thing. So other ways that we can reach out. Please do reach out. We love you. You're our besties. We'll see you next Tuesday. Our editor is Kevin Mackler. Our music was composed by Drew Kevorkian. Our art design was created by Eric Johnson and Kevin Roche. Our interns are awesome. Big shout out to Tiffany, Hallie, and Bianca. Hold on. Shit, Kevin, I fucked that up. Okay, take 2 credits. Our editor is Kevin Mackler. Our music was composed by Drew Kevorkian. Our art design was created by Eric Johnson and Kevin Roche. Our interns are baddies. Big shout out to Tiffany, Bianca, and Haley. We love you. You're awesome. And this has been a Caliber Studios production.
Bitches being bad.